Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. I am Nazia Zahir, posted as lecturer at Government Nazir Girls Degree College, Hyderabad. My today's lecture is for geography student for BS class. Now, student, we will learn about the atmosphere. What is atmosphere? This is the envelope of gases which is surrounded by the earth. The atmosphere extends 60,000 km above sea level. Physical geographers especially interested in the lower part of the atmosphere from where mostly of the atmospheric conditions occur. Now, if we will learn about the atmospheric condition, so student, definitely we will learn about what is weather and what is the climate. Now I will explain first what is weather. The state of the atmosphere at a particular place and time as regards heat, dryness, cloudiness, sunshine, wind, rain, etc. It can be changed after 24 hours, maybe after one day or maybe 1 week, or it can be changed maybe after 1 month. Now, what is the climate? Climate means the usual condition of the temperature, humidity, atmospheric pressure, wind, rainfall for a very long time. Means in simple, climate is the average condition for about 30 to 32 years. Means it can be permanent. Now student, hope you can easily understand what is the atmosphere. Now what are the regions of the atmosphere? The atmosphere may be broadly divided into two vertical regions. One is homosphere and second is heterosphere. Mostly of the scientists are also interested into the homosphere because this is the region from where we live. Now what is the homosphere? The lower region called the homosphere extends from the surface to 80 to 100 km above the earth, and it has a more or less uniform chemical compositions. Now what is the heterosphere? After the homosphere, the level of the chemical composition of the atmosphere changes in the upper region. This is called the heterosphere. Hope you can understand easily. Now we will come forward. This is the contents of atmosphere. What are the contents? If we experiment by collecting different air samples of the homosphere, so we would find that it contains three major groups of compounds, which constant gases, variable gases, impurities or water vapors. Now into the summarize, I will explain constant, variable and impurities. Constant gases first. They are always found into the same proportion. Variable gases present in different quantities at different times and places. And impurities or water vapor, they are solid particles floating in the atmosphere whose quantities also different in time and space. Now constant gases. Two major constant gases make up 99% of the air, and both are critical to sustaining human and other forms of terrestrial life. Means nitrogen. The percentage of nitrogen into the air is 78, and oxygen, this is of 21%. And oxygen is very necessary to our survival. Definitely all of you know we absorb oxygen into our bodies through our lungs and into our blood. One of its vital function or necessary or extraordinary function there is to burn our food so that its energy can be released. Biological name of this process is called the respiration, and as well as the chemical name is the oxidation. Now, second are the variable gases. Although they collectively constitute only a tiny portion of the air, carbon dioxide, another name is dry air, percentage is 0.04%, is one of the most significant constituent of the atmosphere in terms of its climatic influence. Carbon dioxide fulfills two vital functions for the earth, which is first one is in the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis process, all of you know that plants make their own food into the presence of sunlight, carbon dioxide and other substances to form carbohydrates, which are a significant part of the food and tissues of both plants and animals. The second function of carbon dioxide is to absorb some of the energy which is transferred to the atmosphere from the Earth's surface. Now, impurities and water cycle or water vapors. Water vapor, the invisible gaseous form of water or H2O, is more efficient than carbon dioxide in capturing radiant energy because it not only can absorb energy but store it as well. When water vapor is moved around by a current of air, stored energy is transported along with it. This is part of an essential process by which the surface temperatures of most part of the earth are kept moderate enough for human habitation. Without water vapor, there would be no cloud, no rainfall. Without the great cycle in which water moves from the water surface into the atmosphere and back again, life of any kind would not be found on our planet. Now, after it, the layer structure of the atmosphere means that vertically the atmosphere is distributed into the layered form, which are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere or ionosphere. Then last one is exosphere. Now, first of all, the troposphere. This is the bottom layer of the atmosphere, means first one layer down one layer, where temperature usually decreases with altitude. The rate of a decline in temperature is known as the lapse rate. The average lapse rate is 6.4 degrees Celsius per 1000 meter, and an average height of troposphere is about 12 kilometer, 7.5 mile or 40,000 feet. This altitude, this height varies with latitude. It is lowest over the poles about 8 kilometers or 5 miles and highest above the equator. The upper boundary of the troposphere along with temperature stops decreasing with height is called the tropopause. Now, the second one layer, this is the stratosphere. Above the tropopause, calm, clear air. Jet aircraft often fly because the easiest flying conditions available for them. Water vapors are totally absent. Ozone layer is present here, and ozone layer is naturally produced by the action of ultraviolet sunlight on oxygen and naturally destroyed when it turned back into oxygen. It provides shielding or protecting layer the earth's surface from ultraviolet radiation also. Now the third one layer is called the mesosphere. Mesosphere above the stratosphere between 50 and 80 km in altitude it is lies. Its atmosphere is low density and made up of oxygen, carbon dioxide and nitrogen. The mesosphere is very important for Earth's protection. It burns meteors and asteroids before they are able to reach the Earth's surface. Another common phenomena occurs when sunlight reduces molecules to individual electrically charged particles called ions, and this process is called the ionization. As well as ionized particles concentrate in a zone called the D layer, which reflects radio wave sent from the Earth's surface. Blackouts in communications between the ground and astronauts occur as the D layer is crossed in re-entry. Now, the thermosphere or ionosphere. This is the thermosphere. It is above 80 km to continue 60,000 km above the surface. The thermosphere is the layer in the Earth's atmosphere directly above the mesosphere. Within this layer of the atmosphere, ultraviolet radiation causes photoionization of molecules, creating ions. That's why this layer is also called ionosphere. Ionization also takes place in the thermosphere also, creating display of lights called the aurora boreals in the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, and easily we can see the different and colorful lights into the northern and southern hemispheres. Now last one is the exosphere, the highest and top layer of the Earth's surface. Exosphere name is given. Exo means outside. It starts at 500 km high and marks the edge of space. There are very few molecules in this layer. This means that it has the lightest atmospheric gases such as hydrogen, helium, carbon dioxide and atomic oxygen near the base of exosphere. Now, students, I think you have easily understand my lecture, and I hope that if you are having problem, so you can also concentrate me. Thank you very much for watching my video lecture. Feedback and comments will be highly appreciated. Stay home, save lives. Thank you.